ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We are studying the 41st verse of the first chapter. We will begin the study by chanting one or two meditation verses of on Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhita Bhagavata Narayadena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We shall now revise a little bit. First chant the 41st verse and then we shall revise the study which we did in the last class. So let us now chant the 41st verse. Adharma Bhibavat Krishna Pradushyanti Kulastriyaha Strishu Dushtashu Varshneya Jayate Varnasankaraha. Earlier to that, in the 40th verse, we had seen Kulakshaye Pranashyanti Kuladharma Sanatanaha Dharme Nashte Kulam Kritsnam Adharmo Abhivatyuta. So that was the saying of Arjuna, and he is advising Krishna now about the ill effects of war. Now let us see the simple meaning of that 40th verse. Kulakshaye pranashyanti. On the decay of the family, the memorial religious rites of the family die out. The culture enshrined in the family dies out. On the destruction of social values, impiety further overwhelms the whole family. Evil comes in from war. We are able to realize it today. How many evils lurk in battles, in conflicts, in tension? Arjuna is giving reason for his desire to withdraw from the battle ahead of him. And so he again says in the 41st verse, Adharma vibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyaha. Whenever there is a big war, many soldiers, many warriors, they die. How many widows and orphans are created thereby? On the prevalence of impiety, when social values go away, the women of the family become corrupt because of this terrible situation. And when anything adverse happens to our women, the whole society suffers. There will be a lot of corruption in the society. Now we were studying these two verses. Here, Arjuna mentions the word kula, that is the family values, which is very, very important. So we were discussing about that. So Arjuna is telling how the whole fabric of this family system will collapse in war because many people are going to die. We had taken about that discussion and very important things were being discussed. Now, Arjuna mentions when many people die, naturally, women become widows, and after that, there will be a lot of problem. So, if strishu dushta suvashneya, when women corrupt because of these things, then again there will be degradation in the fabric of family system. Now, we were in the last class talking about how women are important in the family. Father is also a very important person. And we were talking about the children, how to bring up children, how children get to bad ways if the father and mother are not right in their conduct. If the family system is not right, how children also take up the bad values and models and get corrupted. So we were telling about even the training of the children starts in the womb of the mother. That was where I left the discussion in the last class. How mothers welcome the child during the pregnancy, that contributes to self-image. If the mother is going to not welcome the child feels rejected, even though it is not verbal. It's non-verbal communication. That's why in Hindu system we have got the Seemantam, Pumsavanam, etc. These rituals are there, where the whole family is welcoming the pregnant mother and the child. It seems psychologically the child knows that so many people are there waiting to welcome me. So the child will feel I am a VIP, very important person. These are proved scientifically and sociologically. I had discussed about that in the last session. And therefore, during pregnancy, the mother contributes through her thoughts. And when the child is born, every word, every action of the parent, the child is going to imbibe from that. That means cultural values are taught by the parents, not by teaching, but by serving as a model. So they communicate, it is not verbal. I'll just give you an example how from the mother the child gets the communication even when it is just born. It is though a very peculiar example, you will enjoy it. We all know Holy Mother Sharda Devi. She was in Jairambati, and one American person who was in contact with Swami Vivekananda, he came to India. Later on, he became a sannyasin, Swami Atulananda. By birth, he was a Dutch, but he had settled in America. Now, he has come, he had contact with Swami Turiyanandaji, he had contact with Swami Vivekanandaji. So, he knew these direct disciples. Now, he has come to Jairambati to take spiritual initiation, mantra diksha, from Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Now, Holy Mother Sharda Devi doesn't know English nor Dutch. The would-be sannyasin Swami Atulanandaji, who is yet to take the mantra diksha, spiritual initiation, he doesn't know Bengali or Indian, any other Indian languages. Now, in that prayer hall or that shrine of Holy Mother Sharda Devi, in that old house, if you have gone to Jairambati, you will see that hut or the cottage. Holy Mother Sharda Devi gave spiritual initiation to this European guy. After that, when he came out in that joyful mood after getting the mantra from the Holy Mother, one of the persons asked him, you are a European, you do not know Bengali, and mother do not know English. Now, how did you people communicate? How did mother communicate the spiritual values? Okay, mantra you can understand, it is uttered, verbal. But the spiritual values, how were it communicated to you from the mother, and how did you understand it? You know what was the reply of that person? He told, for a just born baby, in what language that the mother conveys, what is the language with which the mother conveys to the just born baby? In that language, Holy Mother Sharda Devi conveyed spiritual values to me. Isn't it so beautiful? That idea, just to think of that itself. So, here you should think the language is only a medium. Whichever language you are speaking, whether it is Hindi or it is any of the South Indian languages, or it is Sanskrit or Bengali or English or Dutch or Afrikaans or whatever, they are only the expression of thought, a medium to convey our thoughts. So thoughts are important, the feelings are important. They are the real language. The thought is the real language. So now communicating that to the child is very, very important. So here mother conveys that through her behavior, her nature, the way she conducts. So much more is important than father. So mother is a very, very important entity in the family. Now, there is a saying in India, if a man is educated, he is the only person who gets education. But if the girl or mother is educated, then the whole family is educated. Because it is through the mother or the girl that the whole family gets education. She is the first guru. Mother is the first guru according to our scriptures. That's why we call Matrudevo Bhava first. That's why here in the words of Arjuna you can see that if Strishu Dushta Suvarshneya, in the family system, if the mothers or the women get corrupted, then the whole society will go to ruins. That's why he's telling the bad effects of the war. So now, these are all scientifically and sociologically proved fact. Therefore, during pregnancy, the mother contributes through her thoughts. And when the child is born, every word, every action of the parents, the child is going to imbibe. So that means cultural values are taught by the parents, not by the words, but by serving as models. Mother becomes the first model for the child or the ideal. The father becomes the next model or the child. And then you see Guru comes in or the teacher comes in. Mata, Pita and Guru. Then after that God comes in, you see. So mother is the first God. That's why we tell mother is and father are the first living gods and goddesses to children. So if father doesn't keep the right ideal or the model to the child, then the child will look around for models. Then TV, iPhone, iPad, social media, other things will become, it will start taking from the models or ideals from these places. You can see how children are getting diverted from the right values from all these things. So, how important is the model of the mother and father in the society? That is what we were studying. Therefore, the parents have to serve as ideals or models. And if they have to serve as models, the model should be available for a consistent length of time, which means a stable family is required. Just imagine, now we are seeing it everywhere. Everywhere in the society, you can see that the father bringing every other day a new wife, or the mother bringing a new husband. What will be the impact on the mind of the child? Just imagine what will happen to the child. The child will be confused. Which model to follow, which ideal to look after, how to dress up, what is my culture, what is my value, which is my religion, what will happen to the child. So that is why father and mother should be together. Not only just mere living under one roof is enough, they should have the trust and love, and that value system should be there in both of them, because a home or a house is possible not by mere bricks. Cement is also needed. Just by keeping brick upon brick, it doesn't become a house. You need cement. Likewise, in the family, similarly, just few members cannot become a family. It doesn't become a home. These members should have trust and understanding. And when such a love and care and understanding and harmony is there, then they can serve as a model and ideal to the child. Then automatically, by default, the child will imbibe all these qualities. So that is what Arjuna is telling by Strishu Dushta Suvarshneya and Kulakshaya, the family system, and how women are very, very important people. And if all the people die in the war, then how there will be chaos in the society. Only when there is a stable family, and only there is understanding, the emphasis is understanding between father and mother, then the child can learn and the family becomes stable. If father and mother contradict each other, if the father tells something and the mother tells something else, the child is confused. I'll just give you an example. The mother was religious by nature. She was highly educated, but she was religious by nature. When the child asked, "Mother, how did we human beings come to this earth?" She told, "We came from God. We believe, it is told in our religion, we come from God." Then the child went to father. It asked father, "Father, how do we human beings come to this earth?" He was a scientist. He told, according to theory of evolution. Who is the father of evolution? Can anybody tell? Charles Darwin. So we have come from monkeys. So single-celled being, you know the theory of evolution. So we have come from, our ancestors are monkeys. Mother told our ancestors are gods. And the father told our ancestors are monkeys and apes. Now the child was confused. When both of them were there, the child asked, "Father, mother is telling that we have come from gods. Our origin is God, and you are telling we have come from apes. Which is true?" Then the mother told, "Your father told where he came from, and I told about my family. Your father told about your family." So now, if this is the way, then there will be a lot of confusion. So, according to nature, that's why here Arjuna's mentioned Stri, mother. According to nature and biology, mother happens to be intimately associated with the child. That's why here, if men die and there is nobody there to take care of her, there will be Strishu Dushtasu Varshneya, then there will be corruption there in the social or the family fabric. Then the whole thing, there will be a problem. If the girl child does not develop cultural value, the girl child, she is now become later on the mother. Then she will become a valueless, value means here moralless mother. A mother who gives importance to only money and pleasure. Then what will be the next child? Then the vicious cycle is created. Valueless mother, that is moralless mother, will only produce valueless children, and valueless children will produce valueless generation. And then a time comes when all values are utterly destroyed. And therefore, Arjuna is telling in these verses, "Adharma bibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyaha." When the families are destroyed, the girl child gets spoiled, and when the girl child gets spoiled, she becomes a bad mother and unhealthy mother. So kulastriha pradushyanti, and then what is going to happen? Strishu dushtasu varshneya. When the woman become corrupt, O Krishna, the destruction of the entire society. Here Arjuna in this verse is using the term to Krishna as Varshneya. Why is he calling Krishna Varshneya? He is addressing him as Varshneya. Krishna is addressed in terms of his family. So Krishna's family was from Vrishni Kula. That's why Vrishni Kula Sambuddha Varshneya. He was from the family of Vrishni. So Krishna is called Varshneya, from the family of Vrishni. Hey Krishna, you are born in that beautiful family. So how important is family system? So you know very well. Therefore, Varshneya, O Krishna, if all this happens, war happens, the whole family, there will be Varna Sankaraha. There will be utter confusion in the society. Now we come to the term Arjuna is using Varna Sankara. What is this Varna system? We are many times confused, or some of the people from the other religion and the people who want to destroy Hinduism, the missionaries and other people, they term it as caste system. Varnashrama dharma is in no way connected to caste system. Many of us also believe that Varnashrama dharma is caste system. That's why I have to give some explanation about this. This Varna Ashrama dharma will be destroyed. So some picture of this Varnashrama dharma, especially the Varna dharma, is to be understood. What is that? This dharma is based on, now we have 4 ashramas. What is that? Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana. That is not, again I'm mentioning, it is not caste and it is not based on birth. Then what is it based upon? Krishna in future, in the Bhagavad Gita itself, he mentioned Varna is based on Guna Dharma Vibhagaha. What is Guna? You all know what is Guna. What is that? Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So that is called Guna. These are called 3 gunas, qualities. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So the whole creation you can see is based on the intermixture of these 3 gunas. Every object you can see, whether it is food or you can see the animals or the human beings, everything in this world is made out of these 3 gunas. So the Varna Ashrama dharma is based on, first thing, Guna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, and then Dharma. What is Dharma? Your inclination, your interest, your liking. So these 2 are the cause for Varna Ashrama dharma. What we see is, that is Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Brahmana. So now let us see how this combination of these 3 gunas, all these things comes out, how Krishna is explaining, because later on Krishna explains it in a detailed way. But now we will just understand it a little. What is this Brahmana? Again, I am telling you, it is not based on birth. Suppose you have more sattvic quality, little of rajas and little of tamas, then that person is called Brahmana. Anybody for that sake, whether you are born in this family or that thing, doesn't matter. It is based on your quality. Then who is the next person? Kshatriya, a politician or the ruler or the military man or the policeman. So Brahmana is just like the present day, the teacher, the doctor, the judiciary, they can be termed as them. The lawyers, the military people, the politician, they are Kshatriyas. So what is the guna of the Kshatriya? More of a rajas activity, little sattva, and it is guided by sattva, and little tamas. Then what is Vaishya? Vaishya, in that quality more is the tamas and sattva is little. In the Shudra, tamas is more major and sattva and this other guna, rajas, is little. So based on these gunas, the varna is done, Krishna tells. Then what is the other thing? Dharma, your liking, your nature, your internal nature, that is called dharma. For example, now you by nature are very strong intellectually and physically. You are fighting, you want to maintain law and order, then you have a fighting spirit, then that is that dharma according to your liking, you become a Kshatriya. Suppose you are peaceful by nature. You want to always be in peace, think of God, study more, do research, be a scientist. So then that because of your nature, you become a Brahmana. Somebody is more interested in creating more wealth, doing much of research and doing all the other things, getting more wealth to the society, then he is a Vaishya. The other person who can't think much, who is not intellectually so sound, but even though if he is intellectually, physically strong, but he can work only under somebody. He can't do his own business, he can't go and do other things, then he works under somebody, then he becomes a Shudra. So it is not based on birth, it is based on your quality, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, the combination of them, and the liking, the interest with which you do. Any examples? Yes, so many examples you can find. Now, Shudra, what does he do? Or Vaishya, what does he do? Economy, cattle rearing, farming, all these work belongs to Vaishya. Business and other things. Suppose a person uses his physical strength to work under the intellectual strength, he sells it for money, to gain money, working under somebody, he becomes a Shudra. A person who uses all his strength to do commerce, business, and cattle rearing and farming and all those things, he becomes a Shudra. Suppose he fights for giving peace to the world, to fight against the unrighteousness and the bad people, the policemen, the politician, the military people, that is Kshatriya. Kshatat trayate iti Kshatriya. One who maintains the order and righteousness in the society, he is called Kshatriya. Then what about the Brahmana? One who is going towards God. One who thinks of the welfare of the society, who doesn't care for money. Money is not at all his goal. Only the welfare of the society. Such a person who thinks of God, who always cares for knowledge, gaining knowledge, he is called Brahmana. Whoever. So, is there any example? I have brought in a length of example. In the Vedic rishis, there were so many rishis who were not Brahmanas by birth at all. But so many people who are born to the Brahmana family, but by their dint of character, they didn't become Brahmanas. Any example? One of the avatars. Who is that? Parashurama. He was born to the rishis, Jamadagni and Renuka Devi. But by his nature, he became a Kshatriya. He was a warrior. He used to fight and killed all the bad kings and established righteousness. By birth, he was a Brahmana, but by the dint of his character and activity and work, he became a Kshatriya. Any other thing? Yes, a person who is that Jabala Satyakama. Who was his mother? His mother was a prostitute. Who was father? He didn't know who the father was, who he was born to. He went to the Gurukula, where they were getting educated there. The rishis were educating. And he told, who is your father? I don't know. He told the truth. Then the Guru told, you never cared for the, the insult which will be heaped upon you, but you stuck on to the truth. So by nature you are a Brahmana. That's why I will admit you, he became a great rishi. He doesn't know what his family is, but by the nature he loved truth, he became a Brahmana, he became a great rishi. So like that, see, the rishi parampara, which we call, who have given us the Vedas, Rishi Shringa, he belonged to the family of who were catching the deers in the forest. He became a great rishi. In the Ramayana, the Putrakameshti Yaga was done by this Rishi Shringa. But he didn't, by birth he was not a Brahmana. But by the dint of his character, he became a Brahmana. Then Valmiki, he was a hunter, he was a highway robber. Later on, by his tapasya and by his nature, he became a rishi who gave us Ramayana. So, don't confuse when people who want to destroy Hinduism, if they tell you it is caste system, please do not get the wrong thing. It is not based on caste. Krishna had made it clear. It is not by birth. It is by the dint of your guna quality. Just like now, in the present day society, by the division of the labor, you separate the chartered accountants, the business people, those who do the business. And there are teachers, they have a separate group of things. The doctors, it is a separate thing. The judiciary, the lawyers. So it was just in those days, in the Vedic period, to maintain the society properly, this Varna was based on this thing. That's all, nothing else. But the important thing was how to take them everybody in the process of evolution towards the higher goal to make everybody a Brahmana to realize God was the goal of this Varna Ashrama Dharma. It was not to put down the people or make a separate this thing, untouchability and other things, where the social bad practices which came afterwards, after the Islamic invasion or after the British invasion to India, the society to protect itself, all this sati system, burning of the widows and other things, to protect the society, these were the reaction of the society. It was not there anywhere in the Vedic system, in our system, in our Hinduism. So, when somebody tells about your religion, you should know what is your religion, what is your Varnashrama Dharma. Otherwise, people will tell so many wrong things and confuse you. That is only to create the faithlessness in your own religion and about yourself, so that they can easily convert you to their own religion. So you should be very, very careful about that. That's why I gave you a little brief bird eye view of what is Varna Ashrama Dharma. So here Arjuna is telling, by this war, even that Varna Ashrama Dharma, this social fabric again in the larger way, will be disturbed. Now, Arjuna is coming to another factor now. What is that factor which is now at present there is something which is connected to that? What is that Arjuna is telling? Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya. This is the 42nd verse. Patanti pitaro hesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. Now what is this 42nd verse where Arjuna is telling Krishna, oh Krishna, if there is the disturbance in the social fabric due to the war, what is going to happen? Social disintegration will land in hell. The family and the destroyers of the family, their ancestors will become deprived of the ritual offerings of the rice ball and the water. That is what we do after the funeral and also during the Pitru Paksha. You call Pitar Paksha now. So now you are all undergoing that 15 days of Pitru Paksha. He is telling about that now. See how coincidence, we can see that coincidence whereby Arjuna is telling about this Pitru Paksha also. What is that? Those who are dead, parents, ancestors, we honor them with offerings of pinda, the rice cakes and other things. That is called pinda, the rice balls. That is called the funeral ceremony. In every society there is some form of ceremony which we call it as in Hinduism Shraddha. Shraddha means based on our faith. Shraddha, it comes from the word Shraddha. So all this becomes difficult to perform, and so there is a thorough confusion in the society. Now if we have this war, when the people are killed and there will be widows and orphans, and after that there will be social fabric will be destroyed, and what is, there will be nobody to give these offerings to the Pitrus during the Pitru Paksha and other things. So those people who are living in the higher realms in the Pitru Loka, they will not get their food or their offerings, and they will fall down from that plane and they will go to hell. Arjuna is telling that is also another drawback of the war, he is telling. So now we should know little about this Pitru Paksha also. What is this Pitru Paksha which Arjuna is telling about, are the Pitrus, and why do we celebrate this Pitru Paksha? So everybody, all of you know that nothing is certain in this world, but one thing is certain. What is that? Death. So everybody you can see are dying. So after death, where do they go? So they believe in Hinduism that after the 13th day, the soul, it's not exactly the Atman, but the subtle body, which is carrying the load of its karma. The day, it will progress either based on the bad karmas. If it has done, it will go to some lower nether worlds where it has to suffer its bad karma, Or if it has done good karma, it will go to the higher realms. What are the higher realms? See, when you tell the Gayatri mantra, what is that mantra? The beginning of the mantra you tell? Bhur Bhuva Swaha. What is that Bhur Bhuva Swaha? All the 7 worlds, upper worlds are not told there. Only 3 of them are told. Then what are those all 7 worlds? Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Tapaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Satyaloka. These are the 7 upper worlds. Then below, nether worlds are there. Atala, Pitala, Patala, Rasatala, Talatala, like that, 7 below. So this is our solar system. Bhuhu means this world where we are staying, this Bhumi, Bhu. Bhuvaha means Pitraloka, the next higher loka. So now the ancestors or the people, when after their death, according to their punya karma, they go to this, the loka, that is Pitraloka, that is the Bhuvaha. They stay there for 3 generations. So if they have done more good deeds, punya, then from there after the 3 generations, they will go to the higher loka, maybe Yaksha loka, Gandharva loka, Kinnara loka, Swarga loka, based on the amount of good deeds they have done, to enjoy all the good deeds or the good charity or the punya they have done. Just like if you have more money, what will you do? You will go to some, during the holidays, you go to some good restaurants or hotels or Drakensberg and get a good hotel. Suppose you have still more money, what will you do? You will go to little better hotels, maybe 3-star hotels. If you have much more money and wealth, what will you do? You go to 5-star hotel. And if you have lot of money, you go to 7-star hotel. Suppose you have too much of wealth, you will have yourself a cruise. You will go in something like Titanic or something. You will take a cruise and go. Or you may even take your chartered flight, all those things based on your money. Likewise, when you do more good deeds, punya, and you have the desire to enjoy it, then you will go to these lokas where you will just have good enjoyments and pleasures. That's all. When we do bad deeds, then you have to go to the lower lokas to undergo the bad deeds that may be called as hell also. Whatever that might be, let us not go into that. Now let us concentrate on this Pitraloka. What is this Pitru Paksha? Paksha means 15 days. I have told that many times. Paksha means the 15 days. That is in our Hindu calendar, 2 Pakshas, Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha. So Krishna Paksha means when we are moving from, see, Krishna, the name is black or dark. So when we are moving from Purnima, full moon, to the no moon, so that is we are moving towards darkness. That's called Krishna Paksha, darkness. When we are moving from no moon to full moon, because you are moving towards light, so it's called Shukla Paksha. Shukla means white, bright. So that is the only thing. So 15 days makes 1 month. So in 1 month, every month, we have these 2 Pakshas. So now the 15 days when we are, who is the head? Anybody? Maharaj. So Maharaj gives permission for the ancestors, all your ancestors and the forefathers who have died, to visit their houses. All the Pitru Lokas doors are open for them to come down. So now they will come down, your ancestors, the forefathers, and whoever have died, they come down to meet their near and dear ones, they come to the house. So during these 15 days, so the doors will be open. That's why they tell at that time you should not go out anywhere. There should be no any celebratory thing. Big function should not be held, because your near and dear ones, your ancestors, your godfathers, they come and you have to serve them, give them food and all that thing which you are doing. Now, you are giving only food to them only once in a year. How is that? Now, the concept of time varies. What is the concept of time here? We have 365 days. Out of that, now there is 6 months and 6 months. So our 365 days or our 6 months, when you go to Pitruloka, the time concept changes. So our 6 months is their 12 hours or the daytime. Then the next 6 months is their one night. So our 365 days here on the earth in the Bhuloka is 24 hours in Pitraloka. So the time concept changes. Now, if you give them food when they come here during the Pitrupaksha once in a year, that means you are feeding them, giving them food every day to them in their loka. So now after the third generation, they go to higher lokas if they have done good things, or if they have not, then they will come back. They will be born back in this world. If they have done bad things, then they have to go to other nether worlds. Now they have come here. We are giving them whatever they like. So this is Pitrupaksha. They are our Pitrus, the ancestors. Now the last day of the Pitrupaksha, can you tell what is the name of that? It is Amavasya. What is the name of that day? Anybody? Mahalaya Amavasya. Amavasya means no moon day. Why is that celebrated in that grand scale on that day? And especially Navaratri in West Bengal, on the Mahalaya Amavasya itself. Why is this Mahalaya Amavasya celebrated in such a big way? What is the significance of this Mahalaya Amavasya? You all know about Mahabharata. Why? We are studying Bhagavad Gita, that is also in Mahabharata only. So in Mahabharata, there was one hero. Do you know his name? Karna. All of you know about Karna, isn't it? Who was he? Who was Karna? He was the eldest brother of Pandavas, but nobody knew about it. He too didn't know who his parents was, because his mother Kunti, the Pandavas' mother Kunti, she had a special gift from Durvas Muni. But if she utters one mantra, because in future she is not going to have child from the husband, because there will be a curse to the husband. So the Rishi, when she had served that Rishi very well, so he could foresee that she will not have children through the husband. So he gave this mantra, you can have children through the mantra. So if she utter the mantra, and whichever god, the demigod, like Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, Surya, Chandra, you call them, they will come and give you a child. So she was a small girl of 13 or 12 or 14 when she got this mantra. Out of curiosity of a young child, she went and uttered this mantra. Surya came, gave a child to her and went away. Now she's so small child, what will the society tell? She's not even married and such a small child. So society will start blaming her. So she was afraid of as a small child. So she placed that in a cradle or some other boat-like thing and left it in the Ganga. So it floated and went. But in his nature, he is Kshatriya. But he is brought up as a charioteer. He had all the ability of a king. He was a great warrior. So now he was brought as he didn't know who his parents were. So, but he was a great man of charity. He did lot of charity. He did good deeds. He became a great fighter. After that, he had death in the Mahabharata war. Before this Bhagavad Gita was preached by Arjuna during the Kurukshetra war, he died. He was killed by Arjuna, you all know. So because of his good charity and good deeds, he went to the Pitraloka. What happened there? He's getting lot of money. He's getting lot of cloths. He's getting lot of things. But he is not getting food. Then he asked, what is this? I was a man of charity and I've given so much to people. Why am I not getting food properly here in the Pitraloka? Then the gods in the Pitraloka told him, the angels, you didn't do your Shraddha or look after your Pitrus properly. That's why you are not getting food here. Then he told, I'm helpless. I didn't know who my parents were. Because my mother put me out on this thing cradle and left. So how do I know my parents? So I couldn't do. That is not an excuse. You have not done the Pitrupaksha properly by giving your food and other things to your Pitrus. So you are not getting food here. He didn't get food there. When he went to though he had done so much of good deeds, then he asked an opportunity from Yama, the god of death. I'll go down to earth and I will do that Shraddha work, that is offering this food material to my forefathers. Then I'll come back. Then he came down on this day, that is Mahalaya Amavasya. That was the day during Pitrupaksha. He came down and he did the Shraddha, the things, and then he went back. After he went back, he started getting his food. So that is the significance of Mahalaya Amavasya. That is the Pitrupaksha. So I gave you a brief account of what is Pitrupaksha and Mahalaya Amavasya. So everybody as Hindus, we have to do it. We have to perform. Then what about you, sannyas, since you don't do? Before we get sannyasa, we have to give tarpana, shraddha, everything to all our forefathers, everybody. Then only we have to do all that shraddha work. Only then after 3 days after that only we get sannyasa. So we have to complete everything. Not only shraddha and everything, the giving that food material, the pinda to our forefathers, or even if our father and mother are alive, we have to give it. Do that shraddha. Lord Vishnu, we have to tell always in that shraddha, the mantra is Gaya, Ganga, Gadadhara, Hari. So Lord Vishnu, Gadadhara Vishnu will hold that pinda which is given by the sannyasis to our father and mother if they are alive in his hand, and when they pass away, the Lord Vishnu, Gadadhara Vishnu gives them. That is the belief, Shraddha. So even we have to do Shraddha for ourselves, because we will not have family life. We will go towards God realization. Do Shraddha even to ourselves. So nobody can escape. We have to do the Pitrupaksha. We have to feed our ancestors during this Pitrupaksha, and we have to follow our rituals. So that is very, very important. Now, while we are discussing about all these things, we had to study about another thing, which is our culture and our rituals. What are all these rituals? We are doing so much of puja, we do namaskaram, we do havan, we do so many other things, meditation, and so many other rituals we do in our things. What are they? So, the rituals are the culture which are hidden in the form of rituals. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, our master, when somebody asked about what are these rituals, he gives a very wonderful example about these rituals. Whatever this Pitrupaksha, we do the Pinda Pradana, the Shraddha, so the Havan, the Puja, everything are rituals. So Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example. He takes the example of a coconut. Now, he gives the example of this coconut as the ritual. What is that? What does the coconut have in the outer thing? There is the koya. You have seen that coconut. When you open it, there will be the koya. Then inside the koya, if you go, there will be the shell. And inside that shell, you get the kernel, the coconut, proper coconut. So, just like that, the rituals is the hard shell, the physical thing which we have to do, which hides a lot of spiritual values and culture inside the essence, that is the coconut. You get it. So now you have values, you have moral and so many other things in the society which is abstract. You have the Atman, the Parabrahman, the God, everything is abstract. Now, how will the people know about it? How will they understand anything abstract? So they have to make it concrete. They have to make it physical. They have to give a concept, and to make that everything physical and concrete, that is our rishis and munis have done all these rituals. That is what we are doing it. So we should not neglect these rituals. It contains the culture, the essence, the values of our society. It is hidden in that. So whether it is Shraddha, whether it is Havan, whether it is Puja, all these things we have to do it properly with Shraddha. At least in the beginning you do it mechanically. As you go on and find deeper and deeper meaning in it, then finally you will reach the kernel. As Ramakrishna tells, the outer shell, the kaya, is protecting the inner kernel. The ritual is the practices which we do But as you go forward, as you grow in evolution in spiritual life, then you will get the kernel, that is the coconut, the essence, the Atman, the value, the culture, everything you are going to get. So don't neglect your culture, don't neglect your rituals. So do it, also know the meaning, don't do it mechanically also, but with faith, if you do, you get the result. I think we have talked about what Arjuna is telling. But Arjuna is telling or advising Krishna, and is misquoting, and he is telling it in the wrong way. He is applying it in the wrong way. He is not applying it in a right way. Now, what is supposed to happen if he doesn't fight, if he doesn't do his duty as a Kshatriya, then whatever now he is telling Varna Sankara, the unrighteous now will rule, they will take over this thing, and the whole society will is going to ruins. That's why Krishna started this war as a last resort to destroy the unrighteous, and Arjuna knew it very well. But because of that attachment to his near and dear ones, he forgot and is confused. So if he doesn't do his duty as a Kshatriya, if he run away from the battle, then all that now he told, the Varna Sankara, the Sri Shudushta, Suvarshneya, Jayate Varna Sankaraha, then the people will not follow all the rituals, they will not do this Pitru Karya, and they will go to hell. All those things will happen if he doesn't do his duty properly. So he's confused state of mind. That's why he's advising Krishna in the wrong way. So now we have gone up to the 42nd verse. So in future class, if God permits, I think we are stopping our class for the Navaratri. So we will be meeting. After that, after the Navaratri, I will be going for pilgrimage to India. So when I come back, we'll continue the study. But before that, we will be doing Bhagavad Gita classes, the second chapter, online. I think our Sharat will give you the details about it now. So now we will close the discussion on Bhagavad Gita with one of the meditation verses. Chalam panghum langhayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.